I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and please hit like. What I'm going to do today is actually show you how I deal from the bottom of the deck, and I'll show you how to set yourself up to deal from the bottom of the deck, and I'll show you the kind of thing I do when I'm just performing or showing somebody how I'm dealing, and maybe I'll use the bottom deal to give me an advantage. I do not cheat and take money from people doing this, but a lot of my friends won't play cards with me because of this. So let's get on with it. Again, I normally do watchmaking videos. I'm an amateur, a very amateur magician, I'll say. I'm not a Kardashian or card expert or card whatever. But these guys that do all kinds of crazy stuff with cards. I can do some stuff with cards. I can screw shit up. Let me show you here if I can screw this one up here. I do one hand stuff. And screw that up completely, right? And sometimes I'll help myself while I'm doing it. Anyway, I love card magic. I think it's a great thing, and I love to be able to do things like that are hard. So dealing from the bottom of the deck takes hours and hours and hours of practice. You're not going to get it right away, but I'm going to show you a technique that's pretty easy, and you're going to want to practice this every night for probably around a year before you try using it. Because if you try before you're ready, you end up getting in trouble, and you end up not being able to show people how cool you are dealing from the bottom of the deck. That was a slow one. You probably caught me, and let's get on with it. All right, hi, I'm back. So let's have a look at bottom dealing. So I've got the 4 aces here, showing you the 4 aces, and again. When I'm dealing the cards here, the technique for bottom dealing that I do is I kind of leave a gap in there. So I do a mechanic's grip, right? And I've got the cards held here, so they're kind of sticking into my palm a bit, right? And that allows my finger there to kind of hold those cards in place to allow these fingers to get out of the way. So I've seen people do the bottom deal where they take the fingers on the bottom, push the bottom card out like that, and then they're able to do that, push the bottom card out and deal the bottom. I can't do that. I'm not sure why, but I can't do that, and I've never done this, and I can't remember who I learned this deal from. I don't really have to bevel the cards either to get this deal done. What I do have to do is make sure that my palms or my hands have got a little bit of grip. Now, to give your palms or your hands a little bit of grip, go to your local stationery store and look at that fingertip moisturizer. So you just take that, and because I take my card with this finger here and I deal it out with my thumb here, I put a little bit of moisturizer on those 2 areas, right, which ensures that the fingers are completely dry, which will totally screw up your bottom deal. So I've got that. So the technique here is I've got to make it look natural. So I'm pushing the card out like I normally would do to deal, like that, and I'll just deal them down here. Pushing it out like this, dealing it, pushing them out like this, and when I'm ready to hit a bottom deal, I'm pushing the card out like this, and then same move exactly, except when I go in, I use this finger and I grab the bottom, right, and I push this card back. So that's a bottom, right? So I'm going like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a bottom, and I'm just doing it slow here, 2, 3. And this card here covers these fingers nicely. So as you go down to grab that card and you pull it out, you're moving these fingers out of the way like that, sliding the card out at the same time you move this card back like that, right? So you're going like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the technique, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm getting those from the bottom now, and if you speed it up a bit, it's harder to see the bottom card coming up. And with a slight bit, those are all bottoms when I put it over there. The slight bit of movement of the hand like this also will hide the bottom grab, right? So those are all coming from the bottom. So let's go through that again, and then I'll show you a way of getting the aces to the bottom. And this is going to be pretty cool. So I'm hoping you share this with people. It's a great technique. YouTube's got a bunch of really good magicians, really professional people, and there's a lot of videos on how to do the bottom deal. I've watched them all. I don't think any of them do it the way I do it. So I decided to put my bottom deal up just so you guys can see it, right? So once again, I'm pushing the card out. My fingers are here. I'm in a mechanic's grip. I've got, this is palmed, so I can almost hold it like this. I don't really need to be able to hold it like that, but it's also easier if you've got less cards. I've got the full deck of 52 here, and I'm doing this, pushing the cards out. I'm moving my hand just a little bit here so I can pull it from the bottom like that, right? And I'm doing that really slow, so like this, and then pull it from the bottom and push that card back while you're pulling it from the bottom. So it's coming from the bottom, but you can't, like that. And you're going to catch me with a camera view like this. It's not ideal to be doing a bottom deal with the camera pointing at you, right? So I'll sit on the couch at night and I'll do like an hour's worth of bottom deals just to make sure I'm getting it right. Now the other thing I was concerned with the bottom deal was the sound that it makes coming from the bottom versus coming from the top. So there's a few things here. So if you notice, you can pull it from the top with very little sound, right? So there's very little sound coming from that card like this. And when you take it from the bottom, it almost sounds floppy like this. Now, I was very lucky many years ago, and maybe he's watching, that I had probably about a half an hour, maybe an hour, I can't remember, it was so cool, with Jason England. So Jason England is probably the best card cheat, card manipulator that in the world. He actually works as a consultant for Vegas to allow them to know how to catch cheaters. So I had an hour with him, and my real concern here was the sound coming from the bottom of the deck versus the top. So as I did my bottom deal, this was many years ago, and I try to pull it out this way every time so that it always looks the same. So when I go down and I grab the bottom card, it still looks the same, right? And my concern was when I grab a bottom card, right, 2, 3, 4, like this, that sound is different, right? And to me, it's very different. So to compensate for that, first of all, Jason told me no one will get that, right? Other card guys might get it. Other cheats might get it. Other people that are watching you do card work might get this, but your average card guy would likely not get that, right? So I shouldn't be farting around with the cards right now, so I know where the aces are. Anyway, so he said, don't worry about it, but I kept thinking about it, and I thought the best way to mask that is to make the top sound like the bottom. So if I'm dealing from the top, allow it to scrape a bit on my nails like that, so it's sounding, and then when I grab the bottom, it doesn't sound as obvious to me, right? So, and I would deal them a lot faster, that way you can't catch me. And I'm doing this and then pushing it back, right? So this here, I'm allowing it to drag just a bit to allow that to work, right? So, and again, I'm on video, so likely you're catching my bottom deal. Hopefully you're saying, no, JD, that's a good bottom deal. I'm not catching it at all. But I've done this tons of times for people watching, and I always get away with it. And then every time I get away with some magic manipulation trick or whatever, I'm always thinking, how the hell did I get away with that? So I do ring and string magic too, and I've gotten away with all kinds of stuff with ring and string magic. So here's how you get the aces to the bottom if you want to just do an effect, right? So you pull the 4 aces out of the deck somehow, right? And here's what I do. So I'll take the deck and I'll put 1 ace in like that, and I'll leave it out just a bit, right? And I'll put the other ace in like this and leave it out just a bit, like that. And I'll take the other ace and I'll leave this out just a bit. And I'll take the other ace and I'll leave this out just a bit. Then I'll push the aces back into the deck, right? I'll pull the aces out back here, right? I'll take these cards, put them on top, put these on top, and then I'll shuffle the cards down like that, right? So I'm just doing normal overhand shuffle that your neighbor knows how to do. And at the end of the day, all the aces are on the bottom of the deck. So I'm not sure if you knew how I did that, but I'm going to show you right now. This is a great technique, by the way, and this sets you up for a bottom deal. So after I do this, then I normally will do just a demonstration of a card trick. That didn't work, but demonstration of a card hand being being dealt, right? And I'll deal the bottoms to this guy here, right? Not face up, obviously, and then I'll be able to show people how this works, dealing myself all of the other cards, but this guy's getting all the bottoms, right? Because I'm able to shuffle the bottoms to the bottom of the deck, and then do my thing where I show you that you're dealing to this guy all the time, right? So let me just stack these again and show you that technique for actually moving those cards to the bottom. Once I get those cards isolated, I can move them to the top, to the bottom. I can just move them around so it looks like I'm shuffling. You can even do a fake shuffle of some sort where you're shuffling the deck, but you hold back. You basically put the aces down first, and then you weave in the other cards next as you shuffle them, which leaves you the aces on the bottom. That was a pretty crappy shuffle, by the way, but I know it was. So what I'll do is take the cards like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards like this, and hopefully share this video because it's kind of cool. And I'll take an ace like that, and what I'm trying to do is create a block, right? I'll leave the cards out about this far, but I'm trying to create a block of cards. So that's 1, 2, and I'm trying to mix them evenly. Leave a little bit of space there. You can separate them even more than this, but let's just bring this one up a bit. So, and then I'll show people these cards are obviously here. So now when I push them in, what I do is this hand, it'll bend the cards like this. I'll be twisting the cards like that as I push in. It looks like I'm just pushing them in, but I'm twisting them like that. And as I twist the cards in like this, it pushes a block back like that. So a block of cards gets pushed back. I'm having a hard time showing you that, but there's the block of cards. And now when I pull the block out, the cards out, my thumb is gripping those 4 cards as I pull the block out. So now I've got that block is out, and I usually just do this and then this, and that retains the 4 aces at the top of the deck like that. And then I'm able to shuffle them to the bottom, and then I can bottom deal them. So showing it a little faster, and this works great. This was a Japanese magician that I saw this from years ago, and he showed people how to do this, and this was like pretty phenomenal. So I don't know if anyone else does this. I can name it after myself, and then the Japanese guy's going to show up and go, "This was my trick." So I do this. I show people the cards. I push them in really fast. I grab the block, and you can be messy grabbing the block like that, as long as you get those out like this and this out like that. And the way I did it before is what I normally do. I just flip them over, and then I try to very quickly, right, deal these to the bottom, and then I can be a bit messy while I'm dealing. There's another magician out of Norway, I think, that's phenomenal, and when he deals, he's messy as shit. You don't want to look professional while you're doing card magic. And there's 4 aces on the bottom, and like I said before, I can just shuffle these cards like this, and I'll show you how I move that. I do this like that, and then I'll just shift them like that, and then continue with the shuffle like this. Throw that one there. It's messy. Still on the bottom like this. I think I lost an ace there, by the way. So that's fundamentally how I do the bottom deal. Again, you should get yourself a bit of fingertip moisturizer here, because it works a heck of a lot better when you do it. You want to make sure, just like Di Vernon said, I got to find the ace I screwed up here for a second because I feel guilty about it. I got ADHD when I do stuff like that, so need to pay attention. So Di Vernon was saying make everything look natural, right? So if you're doing something, it's got to look natural. So if you're dealing from the top like this, like that, don't take your bottom card then and deal it like this. You got to deal it exactly the same way, so you mirror your move. Now if your move from the bottom requires you to pull it out, because I'm putting my finger in here to pull it out. So as I do this, I'm actually doing this, getting my fingers out of the way and pulling the card out. As I do that, I have to make sure that my top move like this, as I'm dealing it like that, mirrors it. So I'm mirroring the top by doing exactly the same thing. So when I go like this, I'm pulling from the bottom and it mirrors the top. So you want to mirror it as much as possible, and try to get my sound thing is not something I'm too concerned about, but that's the bottom there. So that's fundamentally how I do the bottom deal. I'm not sure if I can give you any more tips. If you like this video, please give me a comment. If you thought it was a shitty video and you know a lot of people that do better bottom deals, then that's fine. This is just me, and I'm just saying this is how I do the bottom deal. I've always been able to get away with it. I've always been able to say, okay, I'm going to give you 5 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then pull the 5th. And I screwed that out. Pull the 5th one out like that, and then place it on top. I know that's an ace, so I can start any magic trick now with that. So the bottom deal is pretty handy. And I think the next thing I'm going to do, a video I'm going to do, if you want me to do that, is just show you exactly how I would try to steal a card from somebody while I'm giving them the deck, right? And so that's a pretty cool move. And I'm not sure if you caught me there, but that move gets you a lot of different magic tricks if you're able to steal the card from the top of the deck. So I'm JD again. I'm an amateur magician for sure. I do close-up magic. I don't usually do a lot of card stuff. I do a little bit, but I do a lot of tricks with rings and strings and coins. Do a lot of coin tricks, and you can I don't do a lot on YouTube, but you can just keep an eye on me, and we'll see if I have taught you anything today. And that's it for the bottom deal. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe and please share. All right, let's finish this off. What people normally do, they'll tell people how people cheat at cards, normally at poker. So when they're dealing poker hands and they're dealing to 5 people, they want to give themselves a good hand, right? Which is hopefully, the right hand gets to their hand and there's no issues at all, and they're going to give themselves a great hand at poker. And let me see, like that. And then they'll check out the hands and see what they've got. What do you got there? Nothing there. Nothing there. What have I got here? Nothing there. And then, of course, I've got nothing there, and I've dealt all the cards to the 3rd position, right? All the aces. So that's a cool way of doing it. You probably caught me dealing the aces here, but I would normally have a different view, not a down view like this. So that's what you typically do. It's kind of cool because people think that you've got all the aces, and you just show them that the aces are all dealt bottom dealing like that to this position, right? Let me think. What am I doing? What am I doing? Over here and then over here. That's it. That's it. Anyway, JD here. Thanks for watching this. Give me your comments. If you don't like what I did, please don't tell me. And I'll catch you later.